Cold calling or cold email? Which books more quality walkthroughs for commercial cleaning companies? We'll be breaking it down in this video. So if you want more legit commercial leads without spending a fortune on paid ads or door knocking all day long, you're likely choosing between cold calls or cold emails. This guide breaks down what works best and why. We'll be comparing both methods across first, lead quality, second, visibility and control, and then third, workflow and scalability. I'm Spencer Painter. I'm the founder of Outbound Hero. I'm based in Seattle, Washington. We help commercial cleaning and janitorial companies across the US get 10 to 40 quality commercial leads every month using a cold email system built specifically for this cleaning industry. I've worked with dozens of cleaning companies across 15 plus states in the US, generating thousands of quote-ready commercial leads without door knocking, relying on local service marketplaces like Angie, Thumbtack, Home Advisor, or paying more to Google for advertising. Everything here is based on real campaigns we run daily. We've ran cold calling campaigns. We've also run a lot of cold email campaigns. So this is not theory, it's actually real results. So the first thing that's very important is lead quality. Touching on cold calling first, usually it's talking into gatekeepers because you're dialing the main lines of the offices nearby you from Google Maps or from their company website. Maybe you're even throwing in mobile phone numbers if you're gonna be willing to pay more for that. But usually you're gonna be speaking to gatekeepers, maybe some operations managers or some owners and franchise owners. But again, most of the people you're spending your time with on the phone, if you get connected with them, it's going to be receptionists, office managers, people that are assisting the person that makes decisions. So these people are very polite usually, or at least they just don't like pressure. They're trying to avoid anything that's going to get them into a situation that's going to be confrontational. So they're going to be saying yes, but it's really a no. So they're going to be saying, yeah, I'm interested in you coming out. Like, you can come out and give us a bid or a quote. You show up and these people don't really want you there. They already have a cleaning contract in place that they signed a multi-year agreement. They didn't know anyone was coming sometimes. The thing about it is that you're not really actually getting a for sure, yes, I'm interested, in being able to back it up with proof in writing that they're expecting you to be coming at a specific day or even a day and time. So if you do calling and you're willing to have some of that issue be in there, you're either going to be doing it internally or with a call center or an outsourced rep. So if you have a good system already, I would recommend doing internal callers if you're willing to pick up another salary and pay benefits or however you want to go about it. These people are probably going to care more, but they're often stretched thin with other duties. So they're probably doing a million things at once. Maybe you just hired them on just for cold calling. But the truth is that if you don't already have a good follow-up system, it's going to be inconsistent. And then again, if they're having many other duties, follow-up is going to be extremely inconsistent as well. It's a manual touch effort for cold calling. Also, details get missed. If you don't already have a proper note-taking system and recommendation on what to do for these cold callers, details are going to get missed. Things are going to be all over the place, maybe unorganized. And then also lastly, touching on what I was saying earlier, is if you don't already have an internal system that works really well for cold calling and cold outreach, you're going to be probably having hit or miss results. It relies on what you already have in place, or at least can very quickly get up to speed if you have a coach or a consulting company helping you with this cold calling effort. And then if you do not have a great internal process, or you're not willing to spend that extra money for an additional person on your staff, you're going to want to outsource that to a call center or an outsourced sales development agency that can do cold calling for you. These people are probably usually good. They're trained to book anything that sounds like a yes. You are getting meetings with people that say yes, but these cold callers, either a call center or the agency, they're probably working with other B2B companies not specific to janitorial or commercial cleaning or facility services. So they're likely not knowing exactly what a walkthrough entails, what the decision-making tree looks like at a typical company. So they're trying to book anything that sounds like a yes, and they're trying to get paid for that, because that's how they usually get paid, is per meeting set. Usually this leads to a high no-show rate. When I say no-show, a walkthrough, like they're not actually at the facility when you show up. They're busy, they already have a client, they have something going on, or at least they didn't expect you coming, so they don't really want to speak to you. They don't really want to have that bid go on when you show up, because the cold caller set the appointment, they had happy ears, they booked the appointment in there, you drove all your way out there, and now you're disappointed. And they're also probably frustrated that you're trying to speak to them saying that they said yes, but they really didn't. And this is gonna be leading to just low quality walkthroughs. On the other side, cold email, you're reaching the right businesses with highly relevant messages if you're doing it right. You're using AI to personalize the first lines. You're also having the city and state in there the location. So you can be very targeted, very relevant. And also you can even match social proof to the type of company that you're reaching out to. Replies come from real decision makers, or at least people that have some of their hands in the cookie jar of what cleaning entails at their facility. And it's also in writing. You can back it up all in the email thread. You could pull out your phone, pull out your computer, your iPad, and see the whole thread of them saying, yes, I'm interested, or I'm the right person to speak to, the time getting confirmed, while you're actually attending that walkthrough, while you're showing up and driving all that way out there. And then lastly, every walkthrough is pre-qualified. So you get to see what's going on in that thread. You know what they want, why they want it, and also they confirmed a time as well, or at least they confirmed a specific time range to show up for the walkthrough. You know which ones you actually want to attend, and you can choose to not attend ones that you don't think are going to be good for taking an opportunity with. So overall suggestion, both work. If you do cold email, make sure that you're filtering out real intent before actually driving out. It's going to be hard to do this with cold calling because you don't get to see that whole conversation thread and really get to understand if it's worth spending your time and gas money on getting out to that facility. And then for both cold calling and cold email, prioritize leads who reply or respond with specific needs, timing, or square footage. Those are the people that are probably the highest intent and do for sure want to make a move and do business with you, or at least do business with some cleaning company because maybe their contract's ending. Maybe they're in desperate need. So spend most of your time on people that are very communicative, either over the cold call or over cold email. But again, you can see the full conversation thread if you're doing cold email. So you can actually see real proof of cold email working. You can see that they are shopping around for a cleaner for their office and a construction cleanup once their project is done, just confirming if our client services their area, which we did say in the email. But after a couple conversation threads over email and also a warm call from our client, the facility manager, or actually this is the office manager, Michelle in this case, picked up the phone, they scheduled the walkthrough, and now it's turning into a closed deal. So they're saying, we'd like to proceed with your company to clean our office, start this weekend, we'll get the contract signed and sent over to you today. So that's a contract closed from cold email. I'm going to put this video in here. I'm going to put an edit on top and show you this video. This is Eric showing why he thinks cold email and getting conversations started is a little bit more effective than actually using a telemarketing agency because it results in more quality walkthroughs and not wasting time and not wasting gas on going out to walkthroughs when they're not even wanting you there.
I feel it's definitely more efficient than a telemarketing appointment because sometimes, certain individuals, they want to avoid confrontation or they don't want to sound rude over the phone. So they just go ahead and say, yeah, sure, send me an appointment as long as there's no commitment and no strings attached. With the email, they're actually, taking the time to type something. I mean, they can easily say not interested, and I'm sure we are not given those emails. So the ones that do actually reply, requesting more information or setting up a time, it increases the chances of having contact with someone who's actually interested. So it's been much more efficient so far than what we've had with telemarketers.
The next thing is control and visibility. Touching on cold calling first, there's no record, there's no history unless calls are actually logged and recorded. And with cold calls, you're playing a legal battle. If you're recording them, you have to tell them that you're recording it. And that's just something that you can decide yourself. But typically CRMs may track attempts, dials, connects, but details are often missing. Reps, specifically because they're humans, likely miss things. They get lazy. They're just trying to churn through the lead list of who to call. If a lead no-shows the actual walkthrough or forgets about the walkthrough, there's no message trail to reference when you show up to that walkthrough and they're curious why you're there. You're wondering why you're there. If you're doing cold calling, there's not much to back it up with and show your phone and show your iPad why you're there. That there's no confirmation of why you should be there. And then also it's hard to hand off leads to your team with any context. So first, you can't really do a hot pass over the phone if you have a team involved. And then also you have to get detailed notes, write it down on a computer, write it down on a notepad of what the conversation was about. Usually there's aspect of playing the game of telephone. Not everything's communicated properly, especially working with an outsourced agency, or if you're trying to have another team member go out to that walkthrough after you book the meeting over a cold call. On the flip side, cold email, every reply is saved, it's searchable, and it's forwardable. So your entire team can be involved in the conversation and understand what's going on. You know the contact's name, role, company, that they're in your service area or not, and it's all in writing. So you can back it up Also, when you go to that walkthrough, you can show your iPad, show your phone. This is the email I was communicating with. We are here to talk about a quote. Are you the person that I was emailing? You can always back it up in writing, and it's on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer, because it's over an email thread, not just a cold call. It's also easy to assign leads to team members with full context. They'll see the full conversation thread. It's very visible with what's going on, everything. There's really no hiding any details because it's over email. And if you warm call them, make sure to write that down and get notes. But of course, like, email is gonna be the primary source of getting these leads to say, yes, I'm interested, or what they're actually interested in. Past replies can be referenced anytime for follow-up or reactivation. So nurturing them, I highly recommend recycling lead lists of people that explicitly didn't tell you to remove them, remove their company. I'm not the right person, and also we'll never use you, or a remote office. Like, other than those people, recycle everybody else every 2 months, because you're just capturing demand of when people actually need cleaning at the current moment in your service area. And last, great for tracking, tagging, and nurturing based on location and business type. So you can run campaigns specific towards a business type at scale and get through a list of 2,500 contacts all in a couple days at once, versus cold calling. You're gonna have to be making 500 cold calls a day across your team, which is a lot of human labor. Suggestion across the board, use a shared inbox. If a cold call is picked up and they give you the email to email and have the conversation over there, but also even for cold email, you're gonna wanna have everything shared in a shared inbox or a CRM, even just a Google Sheet, whatever works to store all replies and understand what leads said yes, what leads need to be followed up with, what leads are gonna get walkthroughs on what specific dates, things like that. And also just make sure that your team's always seeing the full message history and thread before doing a walkthrough or follow up, so they can go in with confidence, understand what they actually need, why they're showing up, or even gauge how they should take the walkthrough, because the person's very standoffish. They just said sure, but still the walkthrough could lead into a closed deal. So just give their teammate or yourself a full brief into what's going to be going on during that walkthrough before you actually attend it. So this is an example that we use for our client of a CRM. This is very basic. They also use another CRM on top of this, but there's full tracking. So you can see the reply we got, you can see the email that was sent from, so you can show, hey, you were speaking to this person from my company. This is our secondary domain. This is what we're doing. This is why we're here at the walkthrough. You can see when the reply time was, the sent time. Sometimes it's missing, but again, this is the basic level of a CRM. We have stuff on top of it as well. And then of course the leads that we're communicating with as well. So I'll exit out of there. And then workflow and scalability for the third thing might be the most important thing. So if you're going to want to scale really fast and get effective results, the thing about it is that cold calling requires constant effort. If you're not making calls, you're not getting leads. You're not getting anything. So there's no outreach going on if you're not making calls. It's a very human effort, very manual effort system. Internal staff can't scale easily without adding new reps to the system. Outsourcing means more supervision. You need to make sure that you're having these reps that are representing your company do the right thing, represent your company effectively, making sure that the do not contact lists are constantly updated, do not call lists, and also tracking all the calls, making sure that they're actually putting the effort in to get what you're paying for, and having a good key performance indicator on how many dials are needed, how many connects are needed, how many walkthroughs are set. Follow-ups are manual. So you make a cold call and then you have to call them again the next day. You got to make sure that that's actually happening. So missed reminders happen all the time. People get lazy. Again, you're managing humans, and you need many humans to be making this work at scale. Usually it just results in lost leads if you're not doing that effectively. And then also it's hard to test new markets, new offers quickly. You're going to be, say you want to do 100 cold calls a day, that's only going to touch 500 businesses, which is a lot, but cold email, you can do 5 times that very quickly, even a shorter period of time if you have more domains and more email accounts to do so. So that leads me into cold email. Once built, the system runs every day without any hands-on effort. Like uploading lists, of course, that's gonna be manual, but everything else is hands off. It runs for you in the background. Just set the schedule of when to start the campaigns and end the campaigns each day. Campaigns and follow-ups are automated. So instead of you having to manually go in and send a cold email 3 days later, it's gonna do it for you. And then 6 days later after that, it's gonna do it for you again. So these people are getting a full sequence of emails that are relevant and highly effective to get them to say yes, or at least just tell you if they're interested, if they have a contract already, or their building handles it, whatever it is. And then finally, one person can manage thousands of prospects per week. You don't really need a big team of people. You don't need to be paying a lot of labor to people to manage interested replies, not interested replies. One person can probably do the job unless you have a huge system of cold email, which usually isn't going to be very common for a commercial cleaning company. And then also you can launch new campaigns very fast. Just upload a new list after you make sure that the emails are valid and have a personalized question in there that's written by AI. Just make sure that it's ready to go, it's validated, but you can launch campaigns very quickly. Then also you can easily expand to other cities or verticals, or even expand into different offers like a free cleaning. So if you've never worked with dental clinics before, you can start working with dental clinics out of the blue the next day if you did want, or if you haven't worked with schools, you can start targeting schools. Overall suggestion, I would choose cold email for this. You can build a system once, then clone it to test new areas, new offers without hiring new reps, meaning new humans. And one person could probably handle it themselves. Automate follow-ups and also re-nurture old leads every 2 months. Again, based on people that didn't respond, said they're not interested right now, their contract's not up yet. Put them back into campaign every 2 months and see if they are interested 2 months later. It just takes a couple clicks and a little bit of filtering. So I'll show you an example of a campaign we're running for a company. These guys are getting an 8.4% reply rate, and not everyone's saying yes. It's usually, there's a lot of people, I would say most of them are saying, I'm not interested. I'm not the person that actually handles this, or our company has this handled by our property management company or our building. But we're playing that game of the 1 to 2 or 3% of those people that are replying to be saying, yes, I'm interested in a quote, follow up in a month or two, or I'm the right person. So that's the thing about an email campaign through automation, is that it's running all the time and it's generating a high reply rate, specifically for the cleaning industry. I would expect between a 7 to even a 11% reply rate if you're running an effective cold email campaign with AI personalization and very solid deliverability with healthy email counts, secondary email counts. The truth is, if you're tired of wasted walkthroughs or low intent leads set by people outsourced or from your team, and you feel like you're wasting your time, you feel like you're putting too much effort into it, cold email is going to give you the upper hand. It's going to be running in the background and it doesn't require as much manual activity. You get written proof of interest, so you can back it up and show why you're actually attending that walkthrough and show your team why you're attending that. Replies come from real decision makers, or at least they're very closely related to decision makers, or they are the first step to getting to that decision maker. A searchable record for every message is going to be present, specifically because you get the whole email thread of what you reached out with, the initial email that got them to say, yes, I'm interested, and also everything after that once they do say they're interested or follow up in a month or whatever it is. And then lastly, a repeatable system that runs while you're busy cleaning, running your day-to-day, quoting other leads, following up with other leads that already showed interest. It still runs in the background and it's repeatable. You nurture leads that haven't responded yet, said not right now, just constantly working for you. Cold calling might get someone to say yes. It works. But the thing about it is that cold email gets someone to actually mean it and really turn into a high quality walkthrough most of the time. If you do want to access this guide, to refer back to it or share it with your team, check the link in the video description below of this video. Otherwise, if you are wanting a system like this that brings in exclusive quality commercial leads every day, there's gonna be a booking link in the video description as well. So right below the Gamma document link, and you can book in a time and we'll speak about getting you more exclusive quality commercial leads in your service area every single day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.